Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode where I will give you nutshell recommendations. What? Dagwood, what kind of nutshell should I buy? Should I go with an almond or a walnut? And we'll also take a look at the Electric Scooter Guides forum. I have been encouraging scooter heads to please go to the Electric Scooter Guide forum and participate. If you have something wrong with your scooter, go to the Electric Scooter Guide forum. Maybe somebody there has answered your question. There's a lot of people asking questions that may be the same question that you have. Roll the intro. What is a nutshell recommendation? Well, if you're a first-time scooter buyer or you're thinking about buying a scooter for your significant other or child or friend or nephew or niece, there are so many scooters to look at, and I always recommend, if you're not sure, plan on spending about $1,000. You know, if you get a little extra money back, that's good. You may get 100 or so back. Use that for helmet, safety accessories. I always say the Fluid Freeride Horizon or the 9-Bot Max because they're both proven, reliable, flexible. They can be used for a variety of use case scenarios under $1,000. But I got a text from my buddy, the CEO of Travelissima in Ecuador, and he was looking at King Song. So I thought I'd look into them a little bit, and I came across a video from Wrong Way. If you don't know who he is in Poland, and he does some pretty awesome videos on YouTube. I think if you just Google Wrong Way in YouTube, you'll land right on his page. We have talked about having an interview, and he said he'd love to come on and interview. We haven't figured out a time schedule or whatever, but we're going to get that to you one of these days, I promise. We got to sync up Las Vegas time with Poland time. But his review is specifically on the King Song. If you just Google King Song N10, which King Song is Kingsong. King, like King of the World, and song, like sing a song. King Song. Versus Segway 9-Bot Max, there's nothing. There's no articles. There's no YouTube videos. Now, well, there is one YouTube video, but it's just a guy riding a scooter and really wind noise. Basically, that's all it is. I don't know if he gave it that title as clickbait or whatever. I have no clue. But he did mention that the King Song is better. I don't know why. I don't know anything about it. So let's give a listen to what Wrong Way has to say and why it is a competitor with the Segway 9-Bot Max. But first, let me continue with the nutshell, because I want to make it down and dirty, straightforward, and simple. These are my recommendations. First time buyer, you're unsure what to get, or it's a present for somebody. Fluid Freeride Horizon or 9-Bot Segway Max. Later we'll look at the King Song. If you are buying something to replace your car with, you're going to be using it 100%, going to the store, grocery shopping with a backpack, commuting to and from work and school. You have a place to park it. Go with the Cabo Wolf Warrior. That is your car replacement, in my opinion. If you're a speed racer, buy a Ryan. So I've narrowed it down there to just 3 or possibly 4, because you got to go between Fluid Freeride Horizon or 9-Bot Max. Fluid Freeride Horizon is metal, it's more solid, it's more collapsible. 9-Bot Max is more Star Wars, plasticky looking. Take your pick. The tires on the 9-Bot Max are more comfortable for sure. They're some of the best tires of any scooter. They're 10 inches and they're filled with goo, so you're less likely to get a flat. You have the combination of excellent ride quality and safety with less likely to get a flat. Now, the Fluid Freeride Horizon has a tubed tire. The 9-Bot's tubeless. The Fluid Freeride Horizon has tubed tires. So that's in the front. So it's likely you can get a flat there. And then the rear is solid, so not comfortable, but you'll never get a flat. And some of the discomfort is mitigated by the shock absorbers. So it's a good combination. And I do own that scooter. So Fluid Freeride Horizon or 9-Bot Max, car replacement, Wolf Warrior. You want to go fast and you have money, get a Ryan. Fast in a straight line, I should say. If you want to go fast and your budget is not capable to purchase a Ryan, cheap speed, let's just say. Look at Weeped. Just take a look at him, W-E-P-E-D. And now on to Wrong Way.
Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And this is the Kingsong N10 electric scooter. And here's why this scooter is what the 9-Bot Max always should have been. So let me tell you more about it. Wrong way. The scooter in this version with the LG battery runs for around 900 euro, and I would categorize it as a, 9-Bot Max competitor, Xiaomi N365 competitor, and yeah, it's rather good. So why is it good, I hear you ask? And the first reason is power and speed. This scooter is faster than a modded Xiaomi N365 Pro, topping out at around 40 kilometers an hour.
40 kilometers per hour is approximately 25 miles per hour. And remember, we're talking about the Kingsong N10 and whether or not it matches up to the Segway 9-Bot Max as a first scooter or a gift.
This is a 48-volt system with a 505 watt-hour battery, so in between the M365 Pro and the 9-Bot Max, which will give you a range of between 20 and 30 kilometers.
So the range is going to be somewhere in between 12 and 19 miles.
Now, with this scooter, I did a lot of range tests in the second mode and the third mode, and usually what I found is on the third mode with high speed riding, you will get around 20 kilometers, maybe less, maybe more, but topping out at above 35 kilometers an hour top speed. And in the second mode, when you drive carefully and accelerate slower, you will get up to 31 kilometers of range.
So 31 kilometers is 19 miles.
And I did that just to see if the range of 30 kilometers is achievable, and yeah, in fact, it is. The second reason why I like it so much is that it's light and portable. It's actually way lighter than the 9-Bot Max. So it weighs 16.5 kilograms.
36 pounds.
So once again, in between the Xiaomi M365 Pro and the 9-Bot Max, the handlebars fold and they're way wider than what you see on the Max and the... come on, stronger. And what you see on the 9-Bot Max and the M365 Pro. Here, you'll just use this and fold it And the cool thing is that it actually doesn't lock in place on the fender, and the fender, as we know, is a very fragile part, and it locks into the deck. So actually, boom, now it's locked and the fender isn't too stressed. Now this is a thing that was added on by Smart Wheels, but now there's also a fender support made out of metal by Kingsong. So now it's super light to lift it up. I was carrying it up the stairs a couple of times and I was really quite surprised that it's so easy to carry. And because the handlebars fold as well, it's way narrower than a M365 Pro or a 9-bot Max. It's way easier to put it into a trunk or put 2 or 3 of these into a trunk.
Wrongway lives in Poland, so I would expect him to use kilometers and kilos, vices, miles, and pounds. But on an internet search for the Kingsong N10, everything was that way, which makes me think that they may have a limited presence in some countries, America being one of them. So if you're going to purchase one of these, that means you're going to go to Alibaba or somewhere that does not offer support. Wrongway mentioned a company called Smart Wheels, so they may have support in Europe. Sounds like they do. If your life was a scoop of ice cream, would you like to put a little chocolate on it and maybe sprinkle some nuts and top it off with a bright red cherry? If your answer is yes, then you're in the right place, listening to the Electric Scooter Podcast. Because ESP is life's topping.
All right, so I watched the one-way video and I reviewed the Kingsong, looked up what I could on the intro webs, and I'm still going with the Segway 9-bot Max. Just tried, true, proven, reliable, works. Just get the Fluid Freeride Horizon or the Segway 9-bot Max. So now let's just go through a couple entries on the Electric Scooter Guide forum. Here's one where a guy said he bought a scooter and he has that standard finger throttle that everyone has QSS for. It's called the LH100. It's got a different names, but the black one with a red ring around it, you know what it is. If you have a scooter, that's probably the one you have, unless you have mini motors, which in my mind is much, 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 much better. But he had an orange triangle come up with an exclamation point, and somebody jumped in and said, bad hydraulic brake sensor. Well, actually, he updated his own post and said it was a bad hydraulic brake sensor. So that is something good to know. The next one is, has anyone heard of a brand called Talenic, Talenic? He wants to know if anybody's ever owned one. Another guy came up and said he's got the same question. He said, in 2 weeks, I've switched from being ready to buy the VSET 10 Plus to the Apollo Phantom version 2. Oh, don't do that. That'd be a mistake. And the Inokim OXO, that's really cool. And then he realized that Talenic TNX is solid. So It's Aqua came up, who's very prolific on the Electric Scooter Guide forum that we are reading from. He says he's skeptical about it. The scooter brand name Yume and Chihuahua have high power and high range for a lower price. Well, I'm going to throw my little comment in there. I don't know Chihuahua, but I know Chihuahua is made in Taiwan, and that to me is a good thing. Here's someone who jumped in and said, I got my TNX3. It's awesome and actually scary. The speed is incredible. I live in New York City, and that's what I needed. A scooter with performance and that is off-road capable. Wow. And he said the support has been good. It's Aqua comes back, says, still skeptical because there are literally no reviews about this brand. Somebody came up and posted a scooter review on the Telenik TN90 setup and first ride. Talks about ride experience, design, and build quality, and what type of scooters it would compete with, saying basically it's the eMove Cruiser that competes with the Telenik. Skip all the way down. Final thoughts. The TN90 is a welcome addition to the long-distance scooter market. There are unbranded scooters coming from factories in China that might offer similar specs at a lower price point, but those will not include the warranty and tech support provided by Telenik. So he's saying to stay away from unbranded scooters. This guy says the first week with the TN90 has been a lot of fun. It's a smooth, stable scooter with a lot of power, more range than I'll ever probably need. It's comfortable. It's a good urban scooter. Maybe I'll check that out, the Telenik. And It's Aqua is still skeptical. Well, if Telenik is such a good brand scooter, how come nobody's reviewing them? I think that was a review there, It's Aqua. And he does say, still skeptical. And the guy, OCR1, comes back and says, I wouldn't expect you to change your opinion based on my review. I'm currently a 9-bot Max owner. I own 2 of them. I was asked to review it because I'm an active contributor on the Reddit forum. Wow. So those are the types of interesting subjects that you'll see. If you've got a certain brand of scooter you're looking at or want to know about, or you have issues with your scooter, here's one called Heavier Rider Weight for Lower Rated Scooters. Wolf King GT Maintenance is another topic. If you could choose any scooter, what would be your dream scooter? Wow, there's 45 answers to that one. It's Aqua says, super hard question to answer, either a Ryan or a Weeped. So what, if money were no object, what scooter would you like? That's the topic. One person says Weeped Cyberfold Hyper. I think I saw a video on that one. Really futuristic looking scooter. Some poor soul said the Apollo Phantom. I love the suspension. Not my favorite scooter. Catitude says you should go on YouTube and check out people riding the Weeped Cyberfold. Ooh, Paul says I have the Phantom already. Okay. Tomoda says he'd choose the Weeped FS. Too Much Coffee says that's a serious beast. I want something to be a little tamer than the Weeped, maybe a VSET 10 Plus R. Quick but not insane. It's Aqua agrees. VSET 10 Plus is a solid choice, but they cheap out on their controllers. I could go on and read this. It's super interesting to me, different people, their opinions on what are the best scooters. Couple more topics here. Should I buy 2 fast chargers? Should I get the Okai Neon or the 9-bot Segway G30 Max? Question about switching to sine wave controllers on the Wolf Warrior 10. Electric scooter tire repair. These are all things that we talk about on the Electric Scooter Podcast. So what I say to you, scooter heads, is go to forum.electric-scooter.guide or do what I do. I just Google everything. I Google Electric Scooter Guide Forum, and guess what? It pops right up just like magic.
This is Paul Somerville with Electric Scooter Guide, and you're listening to my favorite podcast, the Electric Scooter Podcast with Dagwood Streets.
Damn, you're so good, man.
The effortlessly polished voice of Paul Somerville of the Electric Scooter Guide. And I'm going to assume, apart from scooters, he must be a connoisseur of podcasts.
The Electric Scooter Podcast news. It's good for you. Sprinkle it on your cereal in the morning. It's delicious. It'll make you more attractive to the opposite sex. ESPN. Electric Scooter Podcast. Podcast News. ESPN.
Before we get into the news, I'd like to make is it a PSA? Stating that when I say guys, I mean, could be guys and girls. Now, when I was saying guys in the Electric Scooter Guide forum, they have a little picture next to their entry, and it was dudes. So when I said guys, I meant guys. But just so you know, because I got in trouble once for this. I walked into a room and I said, all right, guys, let's have a quick meeting. And one of the ladies said, hey, there's girls in here too. Called me out. Come on. Have you ever watched that show Survivor when Jeff Probst says, come on in, guys? He doesn't mean just the men. Guys is a generic form of, hey, gang, hey, y'all, hey, everybody. So don't get your knickers in a twist if you hear me say guys, all right? This first item, not surprisingly, is from the Electric Scooter Guide. And they say they've discovered a great new scooter. The name of the brand is Anyhill. Anyhill. We were so, I'm reading from what they wrote, refreshed to see the unique take and feature set of the UM2 in an industry sometimes characterized by copycats and variants. This is one of our new all-time favorites, particularly for those seeking a swappable battery, a comfortable ride, who doesn't want that, or a high rider weight capacity. So for big dogs, or if you're going to go more than one up, are you going to go two up, three up, like they do in Asia on those scooters? I don't recommend it. Remember once in the news, there was a lady in Italy who was killed by a tourist who was a nurse riding the scooter, who had her buddy with her on the scooter, and she smacked into the Italian lady, and unfortunately the poor lady died. The nurse sped away but was later caught. So don't ride two up. Just don't do it. In the United States and some countries, they have Costco, right? I know they have a Costco in Taiwan. They call it Hauserdua. But in America, Costco had Unagi scooters on sale, and I got an email asking if that was a good scooter. My reply was, I like Unagi, but it depends on what you're going to use it for. For a college student going to class or commuting in a downtown area, I like it. For doing anything rugged or long distance, I would look elsewhere. The Unagi is beautifully designed and low maintenance, but it does not have a long range, and it's not great on rough roads, but the price was excellent. That was my reply, and the answer was I would use it on city sidewalks because my knees and legs have gone too many miles already. So he wants to go on walks with his spouse and trail along, tool along, cruise along with her, taking it easy. I thought a push scooter might be a good answer for that, but he wanted something else. So, of course, I recommended Segway 9-Bot Max or Fluid Freeride Horizon. But for that specific case scenario, the Unagi might actually work. It looks cool. It's lightweight. Costco had it on sale for like $200 off. Quick update on Isa B, who we interviewed at the Electric Scooter Podcast some, months ago. His videos lately have been less about scooters. He had an Apollo Ghost and had issues with it. So he switched to an aerial Grizzly, and he's saying he's having a lot of fun with that, and he's enjoying the crew, the folks that ride Grizzlies there in Hawaii. So props, big ups to Brother Isa B. And check out his channel, Aroma Surf, on YouTube. You will feel like you are in Hawaii. I feel like I'm at home when I'm watching his channel. He's got good content on food, good content on travel. Check him out. Izabe, Aroma Surf, from the island of Oahu. This next item might not be new news, but it's news to me. Trina from the Electric Scooter Guide now works for Voro Motors. From one outstanding group to a very, in my mind, trustworthy, reliable company, Voro Motors. I've dealt with them a lot. So congratulations to you, Voro Motors, for getting an outstanding new employee. Apollo has a new scooter called the City, and the Electric Scooter Guide did a review on that, which you can see on YouTube. Down and dirty, it's $1,800. Max rider weight, 265 pounds, takes 6 hours to charge, and they're calling it the most integrated scooter of 2022. Why? Well, watch the video and you'll find out. That may be a contender if you're looking for your first scooter or maybe another scooter, although it is $1,800. So the fact that it's called the City and they're calling it the most integrated tells me it's probably a lot of high-tech stuff on it, and it's probably made for inner city commuting. How many times have I said the coolest colors on any scooter available are the eMove Cruiser, and they now have another new color called blue. Come on, you other scooter companies. Get on board. Give us some variety. 90% of the scooters I see are black, and they look dirty really fast. As soon as you step on it, it just looks filthy. So I got an email saying that they have this new blue, and it does look cool. I just went to Voro Motors' webpage, and it shows black, orange, purple, white, and red. So they either have not updated it on their webpage, or maybe they just don't have them yet. It's too new. Lastly, I received an email from Segroll e-scooter. This is Andrew from Jiangxi Sake Technology Company Limited, which is an e-bike and e-scooter manufacturer specializing in e-scooters and e-bikes, integrating design, development, production, more corporate speak. We would like to introduce you to our new hot product, the S12 electric scooter. Hydraulic shock absorption, multiple colors. There you go. Now that's something you can do cheaply and make your scooter appealing. Multiple colors, that's all it says. Production capacity of 100,000 vehicles per month. Wow. All parts are produced by ourselves, and the low cost of material and labor from inland provincial factory. We have efficient R&D sales and marketing team, 24-hour quick response if you have inquiries. Their website is www.segroll.com. Interesting. So I have not heard of them. That is Andrew from Segroll e-scooter and e-bike. I haven't followed up on that email. I don't know that I will. The picture looks to me like an M365. Looks like a very generic looking scooter, but he's saying they're producing all their parts in-house, which to me would be a positive thing.
Well, it's time for the news. Electric Scooter Podcast News. It's time for the news.
And with that, the news. It's not time for the news. It's time for the news to end. And it's time also for this episode to end, sadly. Boo. Marcus Aurelius once said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. So until next episode, please keep the shiny side up and dirty sawdust.